Um, let's talk real quick because we're going to try to probably wrap up here in about 5 minutes. So CRM platforms, I mean, what should we be looking for in terms of trends or anything like, where's GreenRope going this year, and what do you think is kind of a trend we should look for in the CRM space?
So again, really that level of integration just goes to a whole new level. We're seeing so many platforms, again, even with systems like Zapier or with an all-in-one platform like GreenRope that has your sales, marketing, and operations. That's really what people want, just because it's data overload right now. It's systems overload. And it's also very expensive to invest in all these different platforms, and not just in the subscription prices, but in also your training. How do you use these platforms? What does it take to actually implement them? So I think that, we're definitely seeing a shift towards that all-in-one integrated platform that can kind of provide you with everything that already has built-in integrations like Olark, other, document signing, social media, that kind of stuff, because now instead of, branching off into 25 different areas, you only have to, settle down and sit into one platform and get all your team involved in one platform. So everyone speaks the same language. Just overall going to enhance productivity, effectiveness of your workforce, effective use of resources. And then of course that translates to the customer experience.
Totally. If there are any more questions from the audience too, feel free to just shoot those over in chat. We're taking questions as they come in. So this may be a larger egg to crack or a larger box to unpack before we can sign off here today. But we talked a bit about automation today. And I think, from a lot of software companies these days, there is a lot of talk of remaining human and keeping things on a human level, even though we are trying to scale and do things, do customer follow-up at a much larger level. Any tips or tricks or anything that GreenRope suggests to keep those customer interactions human? And if you are using an automated workflow to follow up on chats or something, any ideas on how to keep those interactions human?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because it is really important. And again, I'm huge on kind of that perfect balance of automation and human interaction. And so we've actually got an app. It's a free app. You can just literally go to the website. I'll type it in the chat box. It's called Journey Flow. And Journey Flow is a visual customer mapping tool. So it's a drag and drop tool that you can use to establish all of your touch points and where a customer goes within a journey. And within those, you can define your automation and then your human touch points. So for example, if a person signs up on a website or comes in from a live chat, they may automatically receive a follow-up or a message, an autoresponder, an email. Thank you for, chatting with us, visiting us, whatever it might be. But that can also trigger that a follow-up from a person on the team to actually give that person a call, send a personal email, or whatever that might be. So, it's just really critical to, when you're looking, kind of how I said, develop that overall big vision, that big strategy of your customer experience and where it's going, is to visually plan it out and find out where those customer touch points need to be, which ones need to be human, and which ones can be automated. And then again, that also stems from become the customer. If you received an email, but you would have really liked a call at that point in time, at that, buying stage, then you need to address those. And that's where you need to bring in that human interaction and that human aspect. Plus also in your content, just don't sound like a robot.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah. I think that's a really interesting point, though, looking at the different points in an automated workflow where something with a bit more of a human feel to it is going to make a big difference. I was just reading an article today from another SaaS company and the CEO, so that on day one or day two after a sign up, customers get an email that comes from or appears to come from the CEO, but the message in it is sincere. It's really appreciative of the fact that they signed up to the platform, and then it asks them the question and says, why did you choose our software? Because that insight for your own company and your own business is going to be invaluable invaluable. But I think also that that appearance of like you're stopping what you're doing to ask them, you know, what's important to them. I think that you're taking a real personal interest in their own business, and I think that goes a long way. And so even if, you know, granted that's an automated message and maybe a customer might see through that, but another customer, I feel like 9 times out of 10, a customer is actually going to stop and respond to that. And that's what they said in this blog article. They got good responses to that email, and it gave them just such a better insight on what their differentiators are, which they could then build back into their own website, their own marketing collateral, that sort of thing. So, yeah. Aaron has one question here. So Alessandra, can you help me clarify this? Does GreenRope help people build websites?
So we've got a full website builder,
Okay.
and then we also have a creative team that actually develops websites. So you can develop them yourselves, or we can develop them for you. And of course, you know, they're completely already integrated into your CRM and your marketing automation. So again, integration. There's no tying data, no tying anything together. It's already there. It's already ready for you to go.
Got it. Okay. So then the second part of that question is how to use the CRM portion of GreenRope to make the content or make your website dynamic for the users. I'll actually, if you don't mind me just answering this real quick, because he also asked about chat data. My answer is probably shorter than yours is. Our recommendation is to go back through chat transcripts on a regular basis and look at and just review those and look for either certain product keywords or keywords you're curious in. Just see what questions your customers are actually asking in chat, and then play that verbiage back through your website, whether that be an FAQ section or a knowledge base, but take the words that they're using. I mean, study the verbiage they're actually using and play that back in the copy on your website so that you're using the same language that your customers use to interact with you. Don't just assume that what you're saying is how the customer understands it. Review that on a regular basis. Review your transcripts on a regular basis would be my feedback. What's your recommendation?
Well, no, with GreenRope, it's really, really easy. If you do, we literally just have placeholders where you can change up and personalize the the content based on the data and user defined fields that you have in the contact record. So it's, you know, it's all integrated there. It just is literally a placeholder.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah,
well, I think that about does it. Alessandra, do you want to share contact information? I mean, if somebody has a follow-up question for you, how could they get in touch?
Absolutely. I will put my information in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions. I work with a lot of our clients on how to, you know, streamline that journey and integrate all these different touch points. So happy to help and answer any questions.
Very cool. And for anybody who's watching the recorded version of this after the fact, it looks like it's ACERESA@greenrope.com.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's all right. And I'm Carl, KARL @olark.com. We're happy to help. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I'm going to leave the channel open for just a little while longer. So if you do have another question, we've got maybe like a couple more minutes for questions, but otherwise we're going to sign off here in just a second. And I want to say thanks again for joining. Oh, shoot. I mean, before everybody goes, before some people have gone. So we're actually co-authoring an ebook that's going to be coming out soon too. We had this note to mention this. We totally dropped the ball. But everybody who's joining the webinar is going to get a copy of the ebook. So you'll get a copy of the recorded version of this webinar, and then you also get a copy of the Olark and the GreenRope ebook when it's ready. We'll send that to you via email as well. So that's just an added bonus for signing up for the webinar today. But keep an eye out for that. I think it should be ready in about 2 weeks' time. And there'll be more good tips and tricks in that. And we certainly appreciate your feedback if you get a chance to read it. So I think for now, we're going to sign off. And I want to say thanks again. And I'll stop the recording. But thanks again. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, Carl. I really appreciate it.
Cool.